In this video demonstration, we're going to go over the use of 7-zip file archiver to compress multiple files and folders into a single file of smaller size, to break multiple files and folders into smaller pieces. For example, if you have a 10 megabyte file that you need to send over email, but your email attachment is only allows for 5 megabytes. We will show you how to do that with 7-zip archiver. We will also demonstrate password protection and encryption of sensitive data using 7-zip. And finally, we will go over the extraction process for extracting files and folders with 7-zip. Here we have 6 files and a pre-made folder called test archive. I'm going to simply move these into the test archive folder for simplicity's sake. To compress this, you simply right click and choose 7-zip, and then you choose add to archive. And the add to archive dialog box will come up. And this is not as complicated as it looks. The default archive name will be the folder that the files reside in. So in this case it's test_archive. But we're going to change that name, and you can do that. And we're going to choose 1234.7z. Over here is your browse button. If you choose to put this archive into a different location, you can browse to a different location. But we're going to leave it at the desktop. And that's the default location, the original location of the file and folder. Archive format type, 7Z, which I highly recommend. However, if you want to use tar, which is a less popular format, or zip, which is supported on many Windows computers without the use of this 7-zip archiver. However, I recommend the 7-zip archiver because it's free and it's much more secure and it compresses things better. So we're going to leave things at 7Z. Your compression level is normally normal, obviously. But however, you have other choices within here. Store adds no compression, and Ultra adds the most. But we're going to leave it at normal. Most people will. We're going to go ahead and skip these advanced options and go all the way down to split to volumes. This is where you can break larger files and folders into smaller ones and multiple pieces. For example, if you have a 15 megabyte file that needs to be sent via email that only supports 5 megabyte attachments, you simply type in 5 MB. Whoops, MB. This will break your original file down into 3 5 megabyte pieces, so you can attach them and send them via email. The other person has to have the 7-zip archiver and all the pieces to put it back together again. In this demonstration, this file isn't that large, so we won't be splitting it. The parameters field, S equals off, which is a solid archive. I recommend that this be set and left. This will help speed up the extraction of single files from an archive that has multiple files in it, in a nutshell. We will be skipping through all these advanced options and going down to encryption. Here's where you are able to password protect and encrypt your archive if you have sensitive data or just want to keep it from prying eyes. For this case, we're going to choose the password of password. The show password box obviously allows you to see this password. If not, you're going to have to retype it, and it's strongly recommended that you retype it for complicated passwords, just so you know that you typed it in right. Because once that archive is created with that password, that's it. Just a few notes about passwords. My personal recommendation is a minimum of 15 alphanumeric and symbols. Don't put your dog's name in there. Don't put your mom's name in there, your street address, anything like that. So we're going to leave this at password. Encrypt file names. This is highly recommended. This will hide all the metadata, meaning this will hide all the file names and types within an archive. So in this particular case, when we zip this, we will not be able to see anything about the file or its contents. You will simply be prompted for a password. If this box were unchecked, you will be able to see the file names and types within the archive, but you will not be able to access them in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, this is highly recommended. We're going to go ahead and zip this. As you can see, we created a folder called 1234.7z. This is a file. This file contains everything that's in this test archive folder. You can't send this folder, but you can send this file via email. So this is a good way of sending multiple files and folders with one simple file. Save a lot of headache at times. This folder can be handled for the data extraction in two ways. Simply double click on it, and there it goes asking for the password. And our password is going to be password. And as you can see, it contains our test archive folder. The original size of the folder, which is 3 megabytes, and the compressed size of the 7Z archive called 1234, which is 600K. That is an 80% reduction of file size. That's not going to be the case with all the files you compress. It's going to vary depending on the file. Over here is a number of files, and you can just double click and open up and see what's within this folder. It keeps the directory structure. So you can grab one of these and drag it to the desktop, and it will simply extract. You've already entered your password. Or you can highlight this one, hold the shift key down, and highlight the bottom one to select them all, and then drag them to the desktop. Or you can hold the control key down and select only certain ones and drag them to the desktop. That's one way to handle this. But we're going to go ahead and close this. Another way, which is probably a better method because most people won't know what's in the archive, especially if it's password protected. So we're going to right click on the archive, choose 7-zip, choose extract to 1234. Now what this is going to do is going to create a folder called 1234 on the desktop. Within that folder will be the test archive folder, and obviously within that folder will be all your files. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. It's obviously going to ask for the password. And there's our folder called 1234. If you open it up, you have the test archive folder, which is the original folder that we zipped. And then open that up is all of our pictures and documents that we have in here. And that concludes this demonstration.